Hey there guys, welcome to another episode of THP Tutorial. This right here is your boy said, aka MLSBTF. You already know. In today's episode, we want to talk about French nouns. French nouns. All you need to know about French nouns. If you are watching this video and you have a hard time differentiating between masculine nouns and feminine nouns, knowing which articles and adjectives to use in conjunction with such nouns, this is the video for you to be watching right here, right now. If you don't know how to change the form of a noun from singular to plural, this is the video for you to watch. If you have not hit the subscribe button already, make sure you do and turn on post notification to get updates whenever we drop more fire lessons like this. Right, so how do we master our nouns? Right, this video is your secret to mastering nouns in French. You will use nouns in French like an expert after you finish watching this video. So make sure you watch it to the end. Right. So our outline for this video is 1. We'll define what a noun is. 2. The nature of nouns. 3. Identifying gender. 4. Changing singular to plural. Right. So before we get on with our lovely intro, let's have a quick introduction into this topic without wasting much time. What is a noun? Now, a noun, first of all, is a what? A naming word for people, animals, ideas, and things, right? Anything that has a name is a noun. Anything that has a name is what? A noun. That's the first thing I need to know. It's a what? A naming word. Any word used to name something is called word. Basically, almost everything in English language is what? A noun, right? We have parts of speech, nouns. A noun is anything that names something. Anything that gives a name to something is what? A noun, right? So people, animals, ideas, and things. For example, coffee, dog, happiness. In English, when you talk about the gender of a noun, there are 3. Yes, there are male, there's a male, there's a female, then there's a gender neutral pronoun, right? Or the gender neutral stuff, like things. Like things don't have a gender, so that they are gender neutral. So basically, you have 2 genders. Like everything that's a thing. Marker, remote, board, wall, paint, light, phone cover, phone, stand, laptop. What do you identify them when you're using pronouns? It. You know, people who speak English, we don't really care about it. It's a phone. It looks cute. Let's make it feminine. No. It. The tripod stand. It looks very technical. Let's call it a man. No. It. Right? It. Men. You have to love the English language. French, on the other hand, well, came in France with a difficult way, right? So they decided to mess everything up. So in French, everything, and I mean everything, is either masculine or feminine. Even things have a gender. There is no such thing as what? Gender neutral. When you speak of the form of nouns, the form can be either singular or plural. Singular meaning that what? It's one. Single. If you say plural, we got 2 or more, right? So let's have our intro and then we'll get down into business and talk about the nature of nouns. Right. Let us continue from where we left off. The nature of nouns, right? The gender of nouns determine the articles, pronouns, and adjectives that are used in conjunction with that noun, right? So if you take a noun, the gender of the noun, whether it is masculine or feminine, it means that if a noun is feminine, it will have its own article that you use in conjunction with it. It will have its own pronoun that you use, right? Now, a pronoun is what? It's a word that replaces a noun, right? Pronouns, word that replaces noun. So obviously masculine, even in English, is the same way, right? Masculine, if you are saying set, I'm a guy, right? So my pronoun will be he. If you are saying Emily, her pronoun will be what? Her, right? Who's Emily? Where did that name come from? Okay, so Emily being feminine will be what? L. Said being masculine would be what? Ill. Right. So let us digest the first point well. Let's do that better. Good. So here I have an example, an illustration, if you would, to help us digest this, right? Remember, this is your secret to mastering nouns. Pay attention, right? So English, French. English, a man, a woman. Simple. A man, a woman, right? So now you talk about articles, you have definite articles and indefinite articles. We'll make a video on that really soon, so stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button so that you get your alert when that video is released. Articles in French. Anticipate, right? As I was saying, English people, no complication. A man, a woman, a toy, a phone, a this, a that. Simple. When you speak in French, right, a is an indefinite article, right? So when you say a man, say un homme. And home, right? And means for French in French for masculine nouns, right? Now if you want to say a woman, you don't say un femme or un femme. It's wrong because you use a wrong article for it. You say une femme because une is the indefinite article for feminine nouns in French. The same too goes for the definite articles, right? I want to say the, something that is definite, right? The boy who did that thing, right? So the man, the woman. English, simple. French, l'homme, right? L'homme. Remember what we said about two vowels mating, right? This is supposed to be the French indefinite article for masculine is what? Le. But once I write home, E and H, remember H is treated as though it were a vowel in French. So this E and the H, when they meet, you do what? You don't do this, you do like this. So l'homme, right? Now that it sounds appetizing, right? So la femme, right? La femme, the woman, la femme est belle, la femme est très belle. Wow, right? So that's how it is in French. Right? That's how the gender of a noun causes it to behave in relation to the article that you use in conjunction with that noun. Now pronouns, right? With pronouns is that French was reasonable. As I said, even in English, said, he, Emily, she. So L, right? If you are addressing me and you say L, it's wrong and you are in trouble, right? In the same way, if you are addressing a lady and you say ill, don't try it. You will see, right? So that's how it works basically. Now, when you talk about the form of the noun, right? Whether the noun is singular or plural would indeed also affect the pronouns, adjectives, and articles used in conjunction with that noun. However, in this video, we are not doing articles, we are doing nouns. So anticipate the articles video and we'll talk about that in that video, right? So now I'm going to move on to how to identify nouns, right? First of all, how to identify the gender of nouns, and we'll be dealing with the masculine nouns first. See you after the break. Moving on, how to identify masculine nouns, right, in French. So these are a few tips and tricks that you can use to always maneuver your way when you are using nouns in French, whether it's in your writing or in your day-to-day parlance, right? Number one, most nouns referring to male persons are masculine. I know what I think. Someone said it's very obvious, right? If you are referring to a male person, obviously you need to use male articles. But as long as that noun is used to what refer to males, right? What I think. How is this a trick? How is this trick? Don't worry. As you are going, you'll get more impressive ones. I'm just building you up the crying ones. Right, so examples. Enhorn. Right. Right. Enhorn meaning kill. Enhorn meaning man. Enhorn meaning what? Kill. Basically, what I'm saying is male pronouns. any noun used to refer to people, right? Specifically males are what? Masculine, right? So kid, masculine, boy, masculine, right? That's the first one. The second one, this is where it gets interesting a bit. Says what? Indifferent nouns used to address people take on the gender of the person being what addressed. Right? So that's what indifferent noun. What do we mean by indifferent nouns? See, the thing is that there are certain words or certain nouns in French that don't change, right? They are, the form of the word doesn't change, whether you're referring to a masculine or a feminine, right? Whether you're referring to male or female. So we're saying that with these indifferent nouns, call them indifferent nouns. I'm the one describing it that way. Say indifferent nouns. You wouldn't see the term indifferent nouns in a dictionary, right? I'm just using to describe how they behave. They are indifferent to the gender of the person they are what referring to. Right? So if it's this way, so the example should have a camarade. It means friend, right? A friend. If you want to specify, he is my friend. It's what? Un camarade, right? Or wing camarade, or le camarade, blank camarade. Basically speaking, you just show or indicate that the person you are referring to is masculine by using the masculine article, right? In that situation, it's not the word that will change because the word is indifferent. The noun that now is indifferent. Whether I'm referring to a male, whether I'm referring to a female, that word does not change. Its structure will never change. Good. 3. This is why I dropped the balls on our life. See, the following types of words are also masculine, right? So dates, months, and seasons, right? If I say seasons, for those of us watching in Ghana and Africa, it's not wet, rainy season and dry season. No, it's not that. Like if you go abroad, you go to France and other countries. You have what? Winter, spring, autumn, summer, right? So in French, when I'm mentioning this, anytime you are talking about these things, you always use masculine articles with them. No, they are masculine, right? So too for most metric weights and measures, right? Metrics, kilogram, meter, all those things. Most of them, not all of them, most of them are what? Masculine. So here, for gram, it's masculine. Kilometer, masculine. Meter, masculine. Languages, right? Any language that you mention in French is masculine. English nouns used in French, right? Whereas if you are speaking French or if you are learning the French, there will be certain words that you see in the French language. It's the same one you see in the English language, right? So words like football, sandwich, they are automatically what? Masculine, right? So let's bear that in mind. Show, fair, leisure, fair, right? So that's how this works. Any word you are maybe reading your French, you are reading your slide, something, and you just see a word, and it's the same way it's spelled in French, it's masculine. Right? Now for the fourth one. Generally, words ending in consonants are masculine, right? Generally, words ending in consonants are what? Masculine. So these are 4 tips and tricks that you can use to identify the masculine nature of a noun, right? To know whether a noun is masculine or not. Carrying on, right? Still on identifying masculine nouns. Now, a big secret for you to have when you are identifying the gender of a noun is to know the ending. There are specific word endings that when you see on a noun, it makes you know that it's masculine or it's feminine, right? So at this point, I want to teach you some of these suffixes that indicate that a word is what? A noun is what? Masculine. First, age, right? AGE. So words like un village, a village, un voyage, a trip. Because of their ending, ag. No, they are masculine. However, there are exceptions. Example: win image, win plage, win page. Win page is what? A picture. Win image, a picture. Win plage is a beach. And win page is what? A page. A page. Right? So these are some of the exceptions. The exceptions won't be so many, right? But at least here are some for you to keep in your head. Meant, right? Meant. Or okay, not in English you say meant, but in French you say ma, right? Usually when you see a word in French which is masculine and ends in a consonant, that consonant is not pronounced, right? So we say ma, appartement, right? Un appartement, un vêtement. You don't say mat. Speaking in French, make it sweet, yeah. All right. So ma, right? Wa, listen, mirror, right? Can you imagine? Mirror is actually masculine in French. Who would have thought? Couloir, that's color, right? These are all masculine words. SME, le tourism, le racism. Tourism means tourism, right? Le racism means what? Racism. Excellent. AAU or A. O. O, not A. O. So, do. Do. There's no X right there. If there's an X, then it should be plural. But we'll get there. So, do. For this as well, for the O ending, there is exceptions as well. So, la peau meaning what? Skin. And then lo meaning what? War. You mean war, right? So these are some of the exceptions when you see this word O. But generally, O is what? Masculine. The O suffix is masculine. So the next suffix is what? A. Or we. Right. So jouer. See, sometimes it can confuse you the English and then the French pronunciation, right? But I've been learning French for some time. I'm better now. So that if I have difficulty identifying how to pronounce this word, I just pronounce this how to pronounce the suffix. I just pronounce the word jou. Right. So words ending in EU are also what? Masculine. Same goes for oju, u. And shu, that's a cabbage. Legino, that's your knee. Canto, right? Ye, lekaye, enkate. Lekaye meaning the exercise book. And enkate meaning what? An area. So, in. Right. Magazin. Un jardin. Right. Magazine means a store, jardin means a garden. There are exceptions for this one also. So, but la fin means what? The end. Win a hand. Right. Un champignon. Right. That's a mushroom. Un ballon. A ball. And then le citron meaning what? Lemon. For this, there are exceptions as well, like une maison, la saison. Maison meaning what? A house. La saison meaning the season. Right. So these are some of the tricks that you can use to identify masculine nouns in French. Let's move on to feminine noun, right? So let's take a look at a few suffixes that indicate a feminine noun in French. So ans, they are all pronounced the same, right? So ans, the first one with the A-N-T, as in what? La chance, meaning luck or chance. That is what a feminine word is. It's a feminine word ending. Ants, again, mean dance, meaning a dance. ans with an ENT, right? And now is what? La patience, meaning patience. But when you see les silence, it means what? Silent, and it's what? A masculine. So les silence. So silence here is the exception, right? So ans as in les defense, right? That's defense. Yeah. Une région, a region. Une addition, a check. But un avion mean what? Airplane is what? Masculine. So planes, this word meaning plane is the exception. Good. Et, t, not et, t. Right. So win specially t. The exceptions are what? L'été and what? Les pâté. Pâté meaning pâté. And then this means summer. The summer. Right. So summertime. As we discussed, the seasons are what? Are masculine. So this is, confirming that. Even though it ends with what? A T and a EU with a something U on top of it. Good. Tie. La moitié meaning what? Half. Half. Yeah. Now one tip here which you may have already noticed or already know is what? Most words ending in E are feminine. We have taken a look at how to identify masculine and then what? Feminine words. At this point, I want to talk about the masculine and feminine form of words, right? Talking about nouns still. The first thing to talk about is the fact that in some cases, there are different words for masculine and feminine nouns, right? These are a rather easy occurrences, especially when you have, especially with the nouns that refer to people or living things, right? There's usually a separate word for the masculine and there's a separate word for the feminine. So words like man and woman, right? In French, if you are saying man, you say un homme, man. If you are saying woman, what? Win femme, woman. And here you have a taureau, that's a bull. Then for cow, you say wind bash, right? In instances like that, it's pretty straightforward. There's no hassle about identifying what's masculine and feminine. However, in most cases, the masculine form is converted to feminine by changing the ending, right? So it all comes back to the ending of the noun. But you realize that sometimes it's just one word. The masculine form, for you to make it mean feminine, you have to change the ending, right? In most cases, that is done by adding E, but we'll talk more about that in a few seconds. Let's take note. A few words have different meanings depending on whether they are masculine or feminine, right? So there are certain words in the French language that whether it's masculine or it's feminine, the form is the same. Nothing changes about it. However, you use the article or whatever you're using in conjunction with the noun to show that you're referring to the feminine or the masculine. And this time around, it's not referring to the same thing. It's referring to. So when such words appear as masculine or feminine, they are referring to entirely different things. There are a few of these words, however, these are the most common ones. So the first is what? Un livre, right? A book. And when you say win livre, it's what? A pound of. Remember that we said that most metrics are masculine. But when you talk about pound, it's what? Feminine. So you say win livre, right? A pound of something. Un mode, that's method. When you say la mode, I'm talking about fashion. Un tour, that's what? A turn or a walk. But when you say win tour, you're talking about a tower. Un post is a set. And la poste is what? The post office. So let us talk more about the endings and how you manipulate masculine words to make them feminine. Right. So the endings of the word, how do you change from masculine to feminine? In the first, we have the masculine words that end with F. You just take the F and make it what? VE. Then you have your feminine. So for words like viv, that's what? A widower. If you want to say a widow, you just take the F off and make it what? V. Inve. right? So that's that. Then for the words that end with X, we change to SE. And a pole, and a pole, mean a post. That's what, husband or wife. EUR, EUS, right? And danser, mean danseuse. A dancer. Terre, taste or trees, right? So for terre, you have words like un chanteur, un acteur, right? So for the chanteur, you say what? Une chanteuse. For the actor, you say win actrice. Another one for actress is un directeur, win directrice, right? In as much as these things will help you, it would help you and it will make your noun game better if you knew more words, right? Because sometimes even if you don't, even if you know all these things, if you don't have enough vocabulary, you will not be able, you might still make a mistake, right? Because see a situation like this where these masculine forms can be changed in two ways to make them feminine, threes or threes, right? So having extra vocabulary in instances like that would be very helpful, right? So and paysan, that's what farmer. Once again, English is very simple. Ien, un parisien, une parisienne. That's someone who comes from Paris. A Parisian. Un lion, une lion. Lion, lioness. That's what. Un étranger, une étrangère. That's a foreigner. Et and et. Les cadets, that means what? The youngest male child. And la cadet means what? The youngest female child. L and L. Un professionnel. Win professionnel. Right? Professional. So there you have it, right? It's real simple. And you notice that in as much as it's simple, it's difficult in the sense that if you do not practice it, you will not be good at it. Right? Excellent. So forming the plural noun. How do you form the plural form of a noun? First of all, most nouns become plural by adding an S to the singular form. So it's just like how you have it in English, right? Most nouns in French as well, when they are changing from singular to plural, you just add an S, and it's what? Plural. So let's also listen to this out. However, if the singular ends with an S, a Z, or an X, then no further S is added. Also, in English to similar, right? Especially when you have whether a noun that already ends in what? An S. So there's no need. In French, it involves these three letters, S, Z, or X. In this case, you don't need to do much about it. You leave it so. All that would change would be the article, the pronoun, and the adjective that you use in conjunction with that noun, right? Because you would have to use if it's masculine, you have to use the plural, the masculine plural. If it's feminine, you have to use the feminine plural, right? So most nouns ending in A or A, right? O and A, add an X in the plural, right? So they were like un jour, des jours, right? Or this would des jouets, right? Un chapeau, des chapeaux, right? So an X, you realize that this is no longer N. No, it's there. We'll talk more about that when we get to our articles chapter. We'll talk about articles in its entirety. So most nouns ending OU take an S, but with a few exceptions, right? So I think that generally when you have words that end in OU, example, un show, un bijou, un hibou. Hibou means owl, an owl, right? But another word for owl in French is chouette. Fun fact. So that's what I'm saying, right? When the word ends with OU, generally, for most of them, you just add an S. But in certain cases, in with this ones like this, the exception is that they will take an X, right? So un show, so their show, right? Un bijou, their bijou, with an X at the end. So for the exceptions, that's how they work. The last one, so for words ending AIL or AL, the plural ends in O, right? So un journal, there's journal, un animal, there's animal, right? Animal is animal, journal is what? A book, right? It can also mean newspaper. That's basically that. At this point, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notification so that when we drop the video on the articles, you will be the first to know. And also, see you next time.